In today's episode of How to Be a Lady Nerd Downton Abbey edition, I'm going to be teaching you how to make orange marmalade from my very own recipe because I was too lazy to follow someone else's. Never fear though, it's going to be delicious, and I know that because it has whiskey in it. To begin, you'll need 4 oranges, 4 cups of sugar, and 4 cups of water. You'll slice the oranges very thin after first cutting the orange in half lengthwise and taking off the ends because, you don't want the ends, and taking out the seeds because that's very important, no seeds. Slice very thin the oranges, put them in a stainless steel pot with 4 cups of water and bring to a boil, stirring pretty regularly. At that point, you'll add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon each of nutmeg and cloves, and remove from the heat. Then add the 4 cups of sugar and stir until the sugar has dissolved. You might be wondering why this handy-dandy camera work is done by me, and that's because my cameraman is having brunch. Lady Mary would never have a cameraman desert her to go have brunch, but we can't all be Lady Mary. So see that delicious looking mixture. That was just the last step of the whiskey. So now that it's all perfect like that, you'll want to put a cover on it and let it sit at room temperature overnight. The next morning you're going to return your mixture to a boil, then reduce to low and simmer for 2 hours. After that, bring it back up to medium heat for another half an hour, and then, using a candy thermometer, let it boil until it reaches 220 degrees Fahrenheit. My mixture is bubbling, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's almost at 220. Once it reaches 220, then I'm going to let it cool, and hopefully we will have marmalade. Once you reach 220 degrees Fahrenheit, test your mixture to see if it's the right consistency by placing a small amount on a plate and putting it in the refrigerator. Once it cools, if it's too thick, you can add more liquid. I recommend maybe a little bit more of the whiskey, or you can cook it a little bit longer if it's too thin. Then just pour it into hot, clean glass jars, seal them, and you can store this in your cupboard for up to a year. The final test is in the tasting. Oh yeah.